So we're at this house checking it out before we put this roof on. If you notice, we've got a lot of fascia that needs replacing and soffit that needs replacing. And the reason that's rotted out is because this roof is in such bad condition. We're right here close to the valley and you got water coming down. You notice the shingles don't even overhang past this molding and trim right here. So the shingle molding, you should have some shingle over past that so that way the water runs off. Instead, it's whipping back, hitting this wood, and it's just rotting it out. So this is some of the stuff that we have to look at and having replaced before we put a new roof on. I mean, when we go to do these jobs, we want them to look proper. So, I mean, it's been neglected for a long time. I know this lady just ended up having a bunch of tree removal. And so now we're coming in and we're gonna take care of the fascia. A lot of roofing companies don't take care of the fascia. They don't take care of the soffit replacement. You have to hire a handyman, carpenter, trim guy, somebody to come in behind them. Our team, we're capable of replacing rafters, decking, your fascia, your soffit, anything that's kind of right there next to the roofing system. So that is one thing you get with absolute restoration. Again, right over here, you can just see, I mean, it's just water damage, rotted out. You're gonna have mold. This could start affecting the interior of the attic and then affect the interior of the home and the air quality. So this is what you see with heavy neglect. This is another reason why we have 0% financing. Same as cash pay plans, so people don't have to wait till they save up thousands of dollars to get their roof replaced. They can literally take it off in chunks of monthly payments. You know, what's the old story? You eat an elephant one bite at a time, and sometimes the roof feels like an elephant type purchase. So we have those type programs so you don't have to let your roof get to this condition, because this is unnecessary expense at this point. You know, all of this trim and skill set and paint adds up, and it should have never have gotten to this point. So on this roof, we'll come in, we'll tear it all the way off to the decking. That'll let us see any of the foundation of the roof system. That'll let us see any weak wood boards, which is called decking. We'll get those replaced, and we'll come back. We'll put a leak barrier around your roof penetrations in that front valley. Those are the most vulnerable points for a leak on a roof system. Then we'll come through and we'll put drip edge. Drip edge is actually code in Mississippi, and cities are starting to make sure that that gets enforced. So we'll put the drip edge, and although contrary to belief of gravity, water does come down off the edge of the roof and then it'll wick back up underneath. And this is where your drip edge comes into play. It's a piece of aluminum that prevents the wood on the fascia and that lower portion of the decking next to the bottom side of the roof system called the eave. Keeps that from getting wet and then rotting over time. So we'll put drip edge, we put starter shingle, we'll put synthetic underlayment, we'll put a brand new roofing system, today's technology roofing system. Back in the a couple of decades ago, you always saw this black paper called tar paper. That was the underlayment. Now you got a nice synthetic underlayment. We've got upgrade boot systems that'll go on this, full metal. UV likes to dry rot the rubber that's around your roof penetrations. So we eliminate that by putting full metal boots called pivot boots. When we put a roof system on, the entire system is a manufacturer completed component system, meaning we don't go from this manufacturer and get this underlayment, get this starter shingle, get this actual shingle. We do it all under the same manufacturer, because when they do their testings in the lab and they give you the warranties, it's tested off of all of their components inside of that roofing system and what they believe will give you in longevity of life. So because we're a licensed contractor in the state of Mississippi and Alabama, when we're putting roofs on underneath our manufacturers, we can give extended warranties like a 50-year warranty, a much better upgraded warranty than just out of the package that comes with the products when you buy them, if you went to go buy them yourself and have, you know, Chuck in the truck or tank top Tommy, that's what I heard one time, put it on. I thought that was pretty cool. So anyway, it's good to make sure that you're picking a reputable company to put it on, they're licensed, and also that they are going to be around, because who's going to take care of warranty issues if they go out of business next year because they were the cheapest in the market? And that's what happens with the cheapest in the market. They make a good run for a year or two and then they're gone. This is why it's really important to not always go with the cheapest bid. You know, go with a good value, good price, good system, understand what you're getting. Make sure your representative is telling you and explaining what you're getting so you can make an informed decision. So part of our documentation process, which we document very heavy, is to make sure we capture everything before, and we do it on the perimeter. So we want to see what it looks like. This is protecting the customer and it's protecting us. Then we move around in a 360 motion around this house so that we can get all angles of the perimeter. Then we'll get on the roof. We'll document any damage. We get measurements. Then we take pictures from the ridge so we can get kind of an aerial shot. During our installs, we'll have a drone out here, and that drone will allow us to get each stage of the install process. So once we tear this down to the wood decking, we'll have pictures of that. Any replacements of the wood decking, we'll get pictures of that. Then as we install the underlayment, so that's going to be your leak barrier and your synthetic underlayment, we'll grab pictures of that as well from the drone up above and at all the 4 angles of the house. Then after we have the shingle getting installed, we'll take another picture of the progression of that, and then we'll get the after photo. So you got 5 stages roughly that get documented. This becomes extremely important with our insurance claims. Insurance needs to know what it looks like before we get started. They need to know what it looked like once we finished, and also a lot of times they need to know what the components were installed so that they can make sure they give proper coverage on those. When we come out during a storm damage situation, we're documenting wind damage, hail damage. You know, the pictures tell the story. We got a saying at Absolute Restoration, if it's not documented, it didn't happen. And so that's kind of what we live and die by. Another thing is, you know, good scopes, good scope videos, good private notes. So now that I got my perimeter photos, I'm gonna start taking some pictures of all this damage, and then we'll get on the roof and we'll do the exact same process. And we'll kick these over. Customers already got us signed contracts, so we're gonna get materials ordered. We'll get out here. This will be a day process. We'll tear everything off, replace everything, get all of our roof penetrations with nice new boots on them, and this will be a really nice roof, probably the last roof this person ever has to put on this home. When we get on top of the roof, we're looking at our roof penetrations, which is our pipe boots. We're looking at the measurement, the thickness, because the pipe boots come in different sizes. We're getting pictures from the ridge, so that way we can see an overview of what's going on. We're looking at how our valleys are constructed. This right here is a cut valley. We want to know, is there metal? Is it woven? Is it cut? We're looking at any gas pipes that need to be replaced because they're bad to corrode and rust around where they meet the roof system. So what's the point of putting a brand new roof system on when you've got old, rusted out, leaky pipes, metal pipes? So you can see on this one right here, I mean, literally the top is just rusted through. So this is a gas pipe. This is a gas pipe. So it lets us know that they've got a gas HVAC system and they've got a gas water heater. Rest of these are going to be your plumbing pipes, which is pretty common. And then you've got your weatherhead coming out. And you can see they've already had issues around the weatherhead because there was some patchwork done. This roof has had wind damage. It's just so far shot that insurance would never buy this roof. So this is going to have to unfortunately come out of the pocket. And this is why you want to have a licensed roofing company come out and take a look at your home, because you're paying your premiums, which is helping you pay for a roof in advance. And when you have legitimate claim damage that should be covered because a storm came through your area, you need to go ahead and get the insurance involved to help get your roof replaced. It's not a cheap purchase on your home. This is one of your biggest remodeling expenses, but it's one of the most important because it sheds the moisture. And this is why at Absolute Restoration we focus on moisture and mold control, because we understand what mold can do to the indoor air quality, to your occupants' health, meaning you that live in the home or in the business, and then also the expense and damage it can do on the interior. So let's not let mold happen. Let's control the moisture by having a quality roof system that sheds the moisture away and gutters that pushes it away from the home.